Okay. Today's special guest, Zuby, is a phenomenal athlete. Actually, a world champion, right, Zuby?
This how you're going to introduce me?
Is it wrong?
No.
Why don't you tell them about how you broke the women's deadlifting record?
With ease. Yeah, okay. So this is going back like 3.5 years ago. Time flies. In February 2019, I posted a now famous or infamous video on Twitter of me doing the video was a 230 kilo deadlift. And I said something along the lines of, I keep hearing about how biological men have no strength advantage over women in 2019. So watch me destroy the British women's deadlift record without trying. P.S. I identified as a woman whilst lifting the weight. Don't be a bigot. At the time I posted that, I had 18,000 followers on Twitter. So I thought it was going to get a couple laughs, a few retweets, whatever. Very quickly, I realized that I had done something. I didn't exactly know what it was, but the video hit 10,000 views in about 10 minutes. And it just kept growing and growing. By the time I went to bed that night, it was 300,000. Woke up in the morning, 500,000, hit 1 million later that day. And it just kept going and going and going. At one point, I remember this, I was gaining about 100 followers an hour for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. So I hit 20K, 30K, as it kept on going. I mean, today I think I'm at, 860,000 something Twitter followers. Mm-hmm. But this video put me on the map for millions of people, mm-hmm. including some very high profile people like Joe Rogan, whose podcast I've now been on twice, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan, all these media figures around the world, and then so many people who have ended up becoming fans, supporters, and followers of what I do. Main thing I actually do is making music. I'm also an author. I run a podcast called Real Talk with Zuby. I'm a public speaker. So it's been a wild ride over these last few years, but that is how it all started with that deadlift video. So to this day, if you Google search British women's deadlift record, I think my name still comes up right at the beginning and my Wikipedia page. So no, it looks like no woman's been able to break that record just yet. So there we are.
So this inspired our topic today, which is are modern women men? And we're going to react to a clip from Matt Walsh. And I just want to get, since we have a full panel full of women today, everyone's take on it.
Yeah.
Here you go. There.
With the fluidity of these things, how do I know if I'm a woman?
That's a great question.
I like scented candles.
Yeah.
I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do I know?
Yeah, Matt, that question right there, that question is when it's asked with a lot of curiosity, right? That's the beginning of a lot of people's gender identity development journeys.
If my mom who gave birth to me is a woman, and my wife is a woman, though I haven't asked her. Maybe I should. But if they're all women, and also the boy who sits down with you and says, I think I'm a girl, actually is one, then what is a woman?
Yeah. Great question. I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
I don't care if you think you're a sheepdog and you come into my store. It don't matter to me. Just don't come in and try to shove that shit down my throat.
If it makes someone feel better, what about their feelings?
I don't give a shit about their feelings.
What about the Star Wars universe? Jar Jar Binks, pansexual, do you think? Transgender?
Why would I even
It's his truth.
Well, it ain't true.
You're not a gender studies major, or are you?
No.
No? Okay. How do you know that you're a man?
How do I know that I'm? I guess because I got a dick.
Yes. So what is a woman?
Why do you ask that question?
I just really like to know.
What do you think the answer to that question is?
Well, I'm asking. That's why I came to a college professor who's this is what you do.
What other kinds of answers have you got?
A lot of like this, where you're not answering. I've gotten a lot of that. So
I think it's interesting that you say that some of the people you've interviewed have been reluctant to answer it, and I think that has a lot to do with the questions that preceded it, and the way that you've conducted yourself in the interview.
how have I conducted myself?
How do you think you've conducted yourself?
Beta.
You just really don't want to answer the questions, do you?
I came today very willing and enthusiastic about answering questions about women's and gender sexuality studies, which is
So
the
you
work that I
wanted
do.
you wanted to answer questions about women's studies, and so shouldn't the first answer you should be able to provide is what exactly is a woman?
Well, for me, it's actually a really simple answer, and that's a person who identifies as a woman.
But what are they identifying as?
As a woman.
But what is that?
As a woman.
Do you know what a circular definition is?
I do.
It's sort of like what you're doing right now, where a woman is a woman.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you're seeking what we would call in my field of work an essential.
Shout out to Matt Walsh. Shout out to Matt
Okay,
Walsh.
so my first question for the panel is, what is a woman? And
Who's going
why don't they want to answer it? And so you can start and then go all the way around.
Okay. I believe that a woman is a human being that is born with certain areas of their body and their mind that is completely different to a man. That's the best way. I've never even been asked that question, but that's the best way I can describe it. I believe a woman has a different mind to a man, a different wiring, and a completely different body. And we also have a completely different reproductive system.
Okay. What about you?
Should I go last or should I go now?
Yeah, you can go now. Or do you want to go
No,
last?
I'd like to hear the other answers.
Okay, then you can go first.
To me, a woman, by definition, would be someone who has 2 X chromosomes and possesses a vagina as a standard.
Okay.
That's what I'd say.
Oh my God, I don't know, because it can't be based on biological factors,
Oh, boy.
because
What?
like women,
It
it doesn't
goes-
matter anyway if you have a vagina. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I guess a woman is someone that feels like a woman. If you feel, because I can't even say it's feminine.
What if I?
My record stands.
Yeah.
My record stands.
That's what I mean. I
Okay.
can't really answer it. I can't lie.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say a woman is, same like these other ladies, what they said. They've got 2 breasts, they've got a vagina, they're able to give birth. That is a woman. And also they've got sentimental feelings, Yes, a man could have a sentimental feeling, but I feel like with men, that's more of, them finding their feminine side, So that's the difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, Auntie, you want to go?
Well, I hope I know who I am or what I am.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
A woman's a female, biological female with a womb, ovaries,
Mhm.
and a vagina.
Okay, Jess.
Yeah. That's essentially what Auntie said. Is a woman. You're a biologist. You're born a female. You have a vagina. You have breasts. You have wombs. You have ovaries. And I think the reason why they don't want to answer it is because they want to be politically correct or whatever. And it's frustrating because I feel like if you ask a dude, what does it mean to be a man? They'll be able to say it. When it comes to women, they say, what does it mean to be a woman? And they're like, well, and it's like, it's irritating because it's like, I'll let Zuby answer.
What do you think about the
Yeah.
guys in this that weren't answering? Are they women?
It's the people I've seen multiple videos, and it's people that have studied women's whatever it is within women's, and you ask them what is women. Well, what is it to you? It's like, no, we're asking you because you studied it. So you tell us, Mr. Professor.
Can I just say that I forgot that second part of what you was asking us.
Like why they
I
won't
think-
answer it.
Yeah, because if they answered it truthfully, they'd be all out of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be because they're making money from talking rubbish, from fooling people. So, and the thing is, I hate when you answer a question with a question. And that's exactly what they did all the time. So imagine if they stood there after teaching people, oh, you can be this bi, this, and this trans, this, and you can identify as this. And then all of a sudden they say, we were lying. Come on, they're not going to, they might get sued. You know, they will be ostracized. And I think that's why they don't answer, because they've been lying to people and they don't want to tell the truth.
Yeah, I mean, shortest definition possible, a woman is an adult human female. You've gone into more depth on exactly what that means. 2X chromosomes, female reproductive capacity, womb, cervix, vagina, the whole plumbing. Completely different frame, different body, completely different hormonal profile, and so on to a man. The reason why those people won't answer that question is, number one, the reason why a small percentage of people won't answer that is because they're ideologically captured. They're ideologically possessed by gender ideology, which has roots going back many, many decades. But the majority of them won't answer it because they're cowards. Simple as that.
100% agree.
Simple as that.
How do
Can
you,
I
how,
just
how do you,
clarify?
how do you, yeah.
Do you guys think Bob Risky and Caitlyn Jenner are not
No.
women?
No,
Who
they're
and-
not.
wait, who
okay.
Of course not.
Wait, who and who?
So Caitlyn Jenner was Bruce Jenner, and then Bob Risky, the Nigerian fashionista, he was a man, but now he identifies as a
They were
woman.
born as men, so they
so
are
they're not
men.
women. Oh, okay.
You can't
This
change
is-
your sex.
I mean, personally, I think they could be whatever they want to be, but you guys are like,
Wait, so I have a question. Could I be a dog?
If you identify as
if
it.
I identified it as a dog and I started saying woof woof, could I be a dog?
If you identify, the way the rules work, if you identify
Because
as,
it's the same thing.
but that's
like,
a whole different species, man.
Yeah.
That's like,
okay, what
Can,
if
can she be black?
Yeah, okay. That's my next question.
apparently now you can.
Hey.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Tra-
I don't like to upset people.
transracialism makes more sense than transgenderism.
You say it makes more sense.
I said transracialism makes more sense than transgenderism
How?
because race is actually a spectrum. Race is actually a social construct. Gender is binary. There's male and female. That's it. There's nothing else. Right? Race is actually a spectrum, right? If I were to have a child with an Asian woman, my child is going to be mixed. If she is mixed and we have a child, the child is going to be, race is it's actually a social construct. Yes, it's based on our DNA and ancestral history, but these terms we use, nobody's actually black. Nobody's actually white. No one's actually these literal colors, right? If someone is mixed race, with the fact that we even call them black, right? If we call Drake black or we call Barack Obama black, right? They're just as white as they are black, but due to the social construct, we call them black in many cases. So it's actually socially constructed and it's genuinely a spectrum. You can meet someone and you're like, okay, what race are you? And it's like, well, I don't know. Like my grandparents are from here. My mom's from here. My dad's from here, you know, but their gender, it's a simple binary. So if you can, so it would make much more sense for me to identify as, I don't know, a different ethnicity, identify as Jamaican or identify as Indian. That makes more sense and is also more believable than me identifying as a woman. So if you're opening the door and you're accepting the arguments of transgenderism, you'd also have to, if you're going to be logically and rationally consistent, you'd also have to allow people to identify as whatever race or ethnicity, perhaps nationality, even age, right? It's more believable that I'm 30 years old than it is that I'm a woman, right? So why can't I identify as 30? All right, I look like I could be 30. I feel like I could be 30. So this is what people are opening the doors to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I identify as 16.
And people can do what they want, by the way.
So
if you're an adult, you can live your life however you want, right? If you're a man and you want to wear dresses and take hormones and do whatever you want, you can. But you are never going to be a female. You can't be.
So, for example, if let's say Pearl, today she wakes up and say, "Oh, I'm Jamaican. I identify as a Jamaican woman." That's acceptable.
No, he's saying it's more.
I'm saying it.
acceptable
I'm saying
than
it would
turning
make more
into a
sense than
woman.
her saying that she's a man.
It's comparing the two factors.
I'm saying.
Transgender is saying that it makes more sense because being a race is something we created. But in terms of being a man and a woman, that's a biological thing. God created a man and a woman.
Yeah, I
we can't
understand
change
that.
that.
Yeah.
So it's saying that if we humans didn't create that someone's black, someone's white, we'll all just be people. That's basically what it's
Yeah, I mean,
saying.
Pearl could genuinely, I mean, she might feel black. Someone might identify more with black culture or Korean culture or whatever. But that would be laughed at. In fact, this has been, because there are people who do identify as transracial and people laugh at them. But then those same people will, scream at you if you say that a man can't be a woman and vice versa, right? And it's one thing to be polite and kind to people, and I think this is where you're coming from a compassionate angle.
I think mine is more,
okay.
I don't like people. I think people are speaking from a position of privilege. You're saying this because you've never felt like you were something else.
Sure.
Imagine being born
I
in
feel
a
like
body.
I'm a dog every day.
No, but
What?
seriously, imagine,
Yes.
imagine you were born in a body, knowing that for you to come out, you're gonna take a lot of abuse. People were killed for this. I just don't believe that people were doing it just for the sake of it. I do think that's how they feel.
Don't you think that society has a part to play?
Would it?
Not if you're getting killed for it.
Well,
Not
don't-
killed, but in terms of like thinking, oh yeah, I'm a man or I'm a woman.
Also, to go back to the transracial thing, black people were killed, and people want to be black. It's like, what does that have to do
No,
with
but that's-
them?
Infinitely more people have been killed for being black than being
Yeah.
But
transgender.
how is that different from just going off of his example and then him explaining race and transgender? People been killed for everything. So should we start being okay, right? And then stuff is going to happen like this, like a video we're about to watch where a teacher shows up, how the teacher shows up, and it's just like, oh, it's okay. She's trans now.
Yeah, and by the way, gender dysphoria absolutely exists. There are absolutely people who feel like they are in the wrong body or feel like they identify more with the opposite sex. That exists, right? I'm not questioning that. But, there are people who are anorexic and they're extremely skinny and they think that they're fat, right? They believe that they are fat. They have an image disorder in their brain.
You think it's a mental disorder?
Yes.
If you literally believe that you are something that you're not, what else do we call that? If I believed that I was, to use Pearl as an example, a dog, and I could genuinely believe that. By the way, have you heard of body integrity dysmorphia? This is a real thing. Body integrity dysmorphia is when people feel like they should be missing a limb or they feel like they should be disabled, and to feel whole, to feel that their true selves, they'll go and they'll amputate an arm or amputate a leg because they feel like their body is not, they feel like they're supposed to be disabled, and they can go and amputate a limb. That's a disorder, right? That's a disorder. There's people who've intentionally blinded themselves because they identify as a blind person, and they go so far as actually chemically blinding themselves.
That is objective.
Yes.
I know you guys see a man and a woman as an objective thing because that's what you were saying. Biologically, you're either a man or a woman. I personally don't think so.
Oh, okay. Show me someone who's neither. Show me the person who's not a man or a woman. I mean, you can go out on the street right now and watch the next 10,000 people walk past. You can identify with 100% accuracy whether each person is a man or a woman.
But being a woman is not about what you look like, though. You could look like a man because maybe you're a tomboy. So say a woman that was
a tomboy
born.
is still a tomboy is still a girl or a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it could appear to you as a man. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not about the appearance.
No,
I agree. It's not about the
I
appearance.
played 12 years of basketball. I know some pretty butch girls, and you could still tell they were girls.
They're still girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still girls. If you can look at any cell in their body, it'll have XX chromosomes, right? You could look at their skeleton. You could look at their reproductive organs, any or all of the above.
But that's my point. Being a woman is not just about your physical. It's not just about your biological.
Okay,
it's
what's your
also,
definition then?
I can't even define it because I think
How would
it's
you
not-
define yourself? If someone asked you,
How do you know you're a woman?
But I'm different to other women that I felt maybe like a man that felt like he was a woman and then transformed. I'm different to that because I was born as a woman.
Okay.
And I would say
How do you know?
Well, I bleed. I bleed
Okay.
3 times.
Do men do
Well,
that?
not 3 times, once.
I think even that in itself, that defines a woman, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Has a man
But then
has
what
has,
if
have you ever
someone
has a
that's-
man ever had a period and a menstrual cycle? Show me one. There's 8 billion people in the world. Just show me one.
I don't know.
It's never happened, has
I
it?
just-
Okay, if you
This is hard. This is hard.
Yeah.
can I just say something? If you had skipped a period for whatever reason,
Yeah.
or like you didn't have a period for 6 months but you weren't pregnant, would that make you feel like a guy because you haven't had a period?
No.
Okay.
I just.
So it's not about bleeding. You've literally just made the point. It's not about that.
No, it's not just about that.
Literally, you can't conceptualize a woman. That's what I'm trying to
No,
say.
you can.
I just-
Adult, human, female.
I just don't. You know what I find really hard to understand is that
I'm fine.
I'm not gonna let. I'm not having anyone who's trying to steal my sex or my
Yes.
gender.
You shouldn't be.
Right. So I would not accept. I was a tomboy growing up. Not once did I think I was a man. Not once did I want to be a man. But I was a tomboy growing up, and it pisses me off that people are gonna come and they're going to try and steal my gender, and they're going to try and say that they're the same as me.
I call it gender blackface.
I don't care whether I don't care whether they're offended.
Yeah.
I'm offended that they want to tell me who I am.
Yeah.
These are, look,
But we can't tell them who they are.
So as far as I'm
That's
concerned,
what's-
I am 54 years old. I'm not going to get to this age and somebody tell me that, what makes you a woman, Jennifer? That's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, that's
I
crazy.
think I'll be straight up. I think it's misogynistic.
And I don't want a man standing next to me
I
and he's going to put on a dress. I don't care whether he's got bigger boobies than me, whether he's cut his dick off. As far as I'm concerned, you're not the same as me.
No, and it's a
and I'm
it's a
not going to
market.
accept it. And you can't tell me that I'm anything than a female. I hear all these other different terminologies for who I am. No, I'm a female.
Birthing person.
I'm a woman. Or is it psi or whatever they call it? I don't know.
Cis.
That's it.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, well, that's what I mean. Because I'm not
violating.
interested because that is not who I am. I'm a female. I'm a woman. And they got hermaphrodites. They're very rare.
Yeah.
Even then, as far as I'm concerned, if you've got a woman, you can bleed in your hermaphrodite, cut your dick off.
There's no hermaphrodites in the human
Because
species.
You
It doesn't
can,
exist.
you can actually give birth.
What
so as far
about
as
the
I'm
ones born
concerned,
with
that's what I said.
bioreproductive?
If you've got
intersex.
one
Intersex,
or the
yeah.
other,
Intersex.
once you've got a womb, you're a woman. As far as I'm
But
concerned,
they've got
as far as you've got a womb, you're a woman. As far as I'm concerned, even if you've got both and you've got a womb, you can give birth. That makes you a woman.
So-
That's the difference between a man and a woman. Is that a woman has a womb? If you ain't got a womb, you're not a woman. As far as I'm concerned.
So
What about the women that can't reproduce?
That's
no,
no,
You still have a
naturally.
That's a
womb.
rarity.
You still have a womb.
That's a rarity, and that's an exception. And these
But are
people
they
that are
not a woman? Are
extremely
they not
rare.
women?
That's extremely
still
rare.
adult- they're still
We're
adult
talking
human
about-
females.
We're talking about the majority. We're talking about the majority. And as far as I'm concerned, no womb, no woman.
I feel like you know what we're saying and you know that we're right, but you just kind of like to argue a little bit.
Not really. I think I have a lot of. I've been around people that have explained how they felt, and don't get me wrong. Like I wouldn't really like my child to say, "Oh, I'm a transgender," and I was really pissed off when Caitlyn Jenner won the Woman of the Year because that really pissed me off because
Hadn't
I'm
even
like,
been a woman for you.
do you know what I mean? Like there are women doing
Exactly.
amazing
Yeah.
things, and you're gonna give it to a man that just.
But he's not a man.
No, he was a man. He was a man, and then when he transformed into a woman,
So then why are you mad?
No, but I'm
it's a
mad
it's a
because
woman.
he hasn't even been a woman for that long.
But he's
But
a
he's a
woman.
woman.
That's-
and he hasn't even done
Yeah,
amazing
but
things.
wait, I thought
For
I
a
thought
day. He's
I,
a woman.
I thought you said in the beginning that it's anyone that feels like a woman.
No,
So-
but I'm saying the fact that you won the Woman of
The
the
trophy,
Year.
Yeah, but
that's
award.
my problem with
Right,
that.
right. But I'm
he's a
saying, why
woman.
would you have a problem if he's a
Because
woman?
there are other women that have done a lot of things,
Maybe they're
and
not-
for a long time,
But
he
she's
literally.
done stuff, you know.
I mean,
Great.
Caitlyn Jenner broke records. I'm sure if it was the women's division.
But he
F-
done
five
that as
gold medals?
identifying as a man.
Yeah,
So don't come
so-
in our turf until you've done the footwork. Then you
chop-
can be like,
he-
oh, I've done this as a woman.
I mean-
then you can win the Woman of the Year.
I mean, I think he's done the work. You see him recently? He's had some surgery.
No, you guys. No, I think it's just. I just don't like people telling people what they can be and what they can't be.
So-
As long as you're not hurting anyone.
Well,
I
again,
mean,
you
they're
can
not
you
hurting
can
anyone,
you
are
can you
they?
can do what you
Yeah,
want
they
with
are.
you can do what you want with
They're
your
hurting the
you
women.
can you can
They're
do,
hurting a lot of
you
The
people.
can
actual women. They're
you
hurting
can
us.
you
hurting a lot
can
of
you can
people.
do what you want with your body, but the problem is when you start letting people live in delusion, they start to think their delusion is reality. And so that's when you see they're taking away titles from women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like I'm an athlete. I played basketball for like I don't even know anymore, 15, 20 years. I don't even know. But like to think that someone could just transition and take away a title is mad.
Yeah.
And it takes away opportunities from real women.
And by the way, I think it's important to note that all of the negative downstream repercussions of this entire cultural psychosis only impact women, right? Only impact women. Men are not worried about women transitioning into men and taking their sports record or being in their changing rooms or being put in. They're not concerned about females entering male prisons and so on. The same is not the other way around. Why? Because the sexes are different and everyone knows it. You may have, I don't know if you know this. Do you know that there are males who are identifying as women getting transferred into female prisons, and suddenly female prisoners are getting pregnant? How do you think that is happening? Let's put this together, right?
Women
And it's women who are being put
women.
at risk from this, right? It's women who are getting their records broken by wonderful ladies such as myself. It's women who are losing their college scholarships for sports, who are having men with their penises and testicles out in their spas, in their changing rooms, so on and so forth. All the negative impacts are on women.
As far as I'm concerned, the people, I mean, it's not affected you yet, but the way things are going,
It will.
wait until they start taking away your rights as a woman and saying there are rights because we're women.
Or if you have a daughter,
you know,
and she has to then compete, and she's sporty and has to now compete against boys.
And the thing is
It's
that I
happening.
remember growing up years ago, and I didn't know there was I think she was a lady and her daughter. Or it could have been a man. So many years ago. But she'd had the operation and she changed. I never knew. As far as I'm concerned, that was just, I think it was her dad, and she was a woman before. But whatever she had transgendered into, whether it's a daughter or a man, but it wasn't like, oh, yes, you know, I'm now a man and I need these rights and I need those rights and I need this. No, it was just, she just got on with her life. She didn't ask anything of anybody. She didn't try and ram her sexuality or her gender down people's throats. As far as I'm concerned, if that's what you want to go and do it. But don't tell me who I am and don't make it affect my life. And don't try and influence children, society, and everybody else with it. That's how you want to be. But I'm the same with everybody. Whether you're gay, my best friend's gay, he's gay. That's his business. But he's not going to try and ram it down my throat or anything like that. But that's down to him.
You're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe, whether some people think it's absurd or not. You're not allowed to force other people to believe and accept that. Right? This goes for absolutely everything. It goes way beyond this issue. This is our understanding of religious beliefs, political beliefs, social beliefs, cultural beliefs. Right? Everyone is allowed to believe what they want. There's billions of people in the world. We don't all share the same belief systems. But if I were to come and now try to force all the things that I believe on someone else, I can believe that this table is circular and yellow. I have a right to believe that. I don't have a right to try to force everyone else in this room and everyone else in the world to believe and accept and say that this table is circular and yellow when they can see it's rectangular and black. Right? So I have a right. I have a right to believe that. I can believe whatever I want. I can believe that I'm a goat. I can believe I'm a chicken. I can walk around on all fours and eat out of a dog bowl if I want. I can do that. I have the right to do that. I can't force everyone else to. Someone might be super polite and, pet me and treat me like a dog or a goat or whatever, if right? If they want to, but I can't force people to, right? If someone is like, no, that's a man walking around pretending to be a goat. That's not a goat, right? And that could hurt my feelings if I genuinely believe I'm a goat. But if this ever happens, by the way, please get me some help. But just using these examples. So, but yeah, you can believe whatever you like. But the problem with this issue and why it's become such a contentious issue is because it's gone far beyond people just living their lives and doing what they want to do. It's got into an ideological movement where they are now trying to force people to believe and comply with it oftentimes at the threat of punishment. Someone said that, why are they not answering that question? Someone said, because they'll get fired, right?
Yeah.
That's coercion, right? If you are not allowed to say something that is factually correct and true because you're worried about losing your job, you're not in a good place in society.
That actually happened recently. I don't know if you followed
Of
the
course.
news. The Irish teacher,
Mhm.
I think he's Catholic, and he refused to refer to one of his students as they,
Mhm.
and actually lost his job.
Yeah.
And then because he was so up in arms about it, understandably, he went back to his job, his place of work, the school he's worked in for the past however many years, and tried to re-enter the school. He got arrested.
Yeah, it's a real thing. In Canada, it's illegal to so-called misgender somebody.
But they didn't care about his religion over that, do they? They didn't put the fact that he's Catholic and he has strong beliefs, that actually came underneath someone wanting to be called they.
Yeah.
But is that not you're not considering that other person's feelings?
I don't care about that person.
about
I don't.
his
I don't
feelings.
their
you're
feelings don't
saying
matter.
that they
Their feelings
shouldn't-
don't matter.
You're saying that they shouldn't impose their beliefs on you,
Mm-hmm.
but refusing to call someone that what they identify
I
as.
identify-
But remember, he's a Catholic. What about his
wait,
beliefs?
no,
You're
no, wait,
imposing your belief on
wait,
them.
no.
So you
Look,
can't
wait.
then say-
I identify as jacked, handsome, and wonderful and successful. Those are my preferred adjectives, right? You will hurt my feelings if you don't refer to me as jacked, handsome, intelligent, charming, and so. I don't have. You have a right to freedom of speech. I don't have a right to control your language. That's not how it works. There's no right to not have your feelings hurt. There's no right to control other people's language. The right is on the other side. So yes, people should be polite and kind and civil within reason. But actually, if you are now trying to control someone else's language and force them to call you something, especially something that you are not, you don't have a right to do that at all. At all. That's not a right.
If I turned around and I said to you, from today, I'm going to be a virgin. Right? Yeah.
Hey, there
officially,
are some
from
of those.
today,
The born again.
I'm going to be a virgin now.
Yes.
And everybody has to identify me as a virgin. Don't worry about the 3 grandchildren and my 36-year-old son. I'm going to be a virgin. And I'm not going to, and anybody else who says to me that I'm not a virgin, I'm going to sue them. I'm going to go to the newspapers and I'm going to be up in arms because I am now identifying as a virgin. And I said to you, you have to see me as a virgin. Would you feel happy about that? But
I think we keep creating examples that are not very relative to this conversation. Obviously, being a virgin, that is a very objective thing. Someone identifying as a man or woman, we've not been able to identify. We've not been able to explain what a man and a woman is.
We have.
If there was...
Everyone else has.
Well, you guys have, because you have one way of thinking. You've decided.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, honestly?
Yeah?
When did you start believing what you're saying now?
When I started listening to people,
So-
because it's not about me.
No,
At the end
honestly,
of the day,
when specifically did you start
I would
believing
say, to be fair, I've always grown up with that belief of let people be whatever they want to believe. And let me explain.
Okay.
I'm a minority, right? Being black in the UK especially, I know how hard it is when the majority think that you are in the wrong. And maybe that is that compassion that I have for them because we are the majority. We have the privilege because we were born as our gender. So we have the privilege to say, no, that's how you feel.
Everyone was born as their gender.
No.
they've
The
all had
gender that we
privilege.
identify as. But my point is that we are the privileged to be able to say that that is our identity. However, some people don't have that. And I feel like being a minority and knowing what it feels like for somebody to be like, no, you're less than, or no, that's let me finish.
Okay, so you can.
Someone
yeah, go
saying
ahead.
that's the way it should be. No, I have a problem with that because, well, no. If I was on the other foot and I was born as a man and I want to identify as a woman, I would be pissed off if somebody told me that I can't be what I want to be.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's
it
saying
doesn't
that.
affect you.
Nobody's saying that.
But you are, because
does affect
if I go
you.
into...
I'm not saying. I'm saying you are not you are objectively not that thing. If you were sitting here telling me that you are white, right? I'll be like, you're not white. You can say that you are. You can feel like it. You can act like it. Whatever that means. You could even go and bleach your skin. You could do whatever you like. You have the right to do that. You're an adult. You have the right to do whatever you want. You can have cosmetic procedures. You can do what you like. But you're not white. Objectively, you're not. Like that's the thing. You know, identifying thing. It opens up an entire Pandora's box of anything because you can identify as anything, right? And as I said, I support someone's right to live their life as they want to. I'm not going to treat. I know more just because I know so many people. Period. I know more most people don't know any transgender people. I know multiple transgender people.
I know some.
Right. And I will treat any human being with respect and dignity and civility. What I will not do is distort the truth and lie to make someone feel happy. And you don't need to do that, right? You can respect people and be kind and be honest and also protect the truth. That's
but
what
is
I think.
it the truth though? That's what I'm trying to say. Because we humans are so complex.
But see, I agree with you.
So
but this
what
is one
they're
of
living is not the truth?
No. No.
In reality, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's very hypocritical to say.
No, it's not. It's not hypocritical. The reason I ask why I'm assuming you only started believing what you're saying quite recently.
I personally, I've never I don't know when I started believing it. I think I've always just grown up with, like I said, be whatever. As long as you're not hurting anybody.
When you were 15, okay?
I don't think I ever thought about it.
Okay.
I guess the conversation is coming up a lot more.
Of course.
And I decided I'm not going to tell someone how they feel. I'm not going to do that because who am I to tell you that you're not a woman?
Wait. The same person you are to say that this table is not circular and yellow.
That's objective. We humans can't be objective in everything that we do. We can't be objective. We're too complex.
Can I just say, right? You was bringing up about being black and how you're used to people. You know, you're raised being black and being downtrodden, so you understand how they feel. You didn't choose to be black. That's the way you are. They're choosing to change their sex.
That's not what they believe, though.
I don't care whether they believe. I can believe that I'm white.
The self-identity thing does not work. It doesn't work.
There's so many different things. Oh, and then you can turn around and say that I can say that I'm white. I'm speaking like this. What am I going to get called coconut? But nothing's going to change.
What about height? I mean, some men are 5'4" and they'd much rather be 6'4". Can a man identify as 6'4"? He could genuinely feel. He could be very confident, and I feel like I'm in the wrong body. I'm 6'4", but you are objectively not 6'4". You can feel like that.
Be judged by like the way you look. We can actually measure you. You don't look 6'4".
Okay, but
we can take a cell from any part of a woman's body and look at it under a microscope, and you can see XX chromosome. That's a woman. Absolutely.
That decides it.
But that gender person don't look like a woman.
Are you questioning? Are you questioning that it's not chromosome?
No. I'm not saying that it's. I just think that's a factor as a woman. I think some people, you can be a man. You can have the XX chromosome, and guess what? You could grow up being more masculine than anyone.
But that doesn't make you.
Doesn't make you a man.
A man.
You can be a masculine woman.
But you don't want to be a feminine man. Just because you have your XY chromosome,
I don't want to be broke, but sometimes I am.
Hey, we pretty good here.
God could create you that way. Just because you didn't have the XY chromosome, just because you can't reproduce, doesn't.
Okay, can I ask a question? Why would it be important to that person for me to believe and so-called affirm their delusion?
Validation.
Their delusion. Because you keep calling it a delusion. That's the problem.
If I came in here and
if you actually change the way you talk about it.
Look, let's be real. If I said that I was 6'5", right? If I said I am 6'5", okay, and I insist on it, and I get triggered, I get mad. I'm trying to get everyone to say I am 6'5", right? Is that a delusion?
Yes. Yeah, but
is that me being reasonable? Am I being the reasonable one by trying to force everyone to accommodate that? Is that me being reasonable? Are they being unreasonable by saying no, you're not?
No, but you can measure that.
You can tell very easily if someone is male or female with 100% accuracy.
If I walked in here and said I identify as you're 26, right? Yeah. I identify as being 26. That you can't measure, but I could just go around.
And by the way, that's much more believable than you saying you're a man.
Yeah, but by the same argument,
will say whether you're male or female.
Yes. But I don't know.
So I could identify and say, look, I feel more that I'm I'm your age, I'm 26. Like my brain could be living in the past of I'm 26. It's registered on my birth certificate just the same as being a female is.
And by the way, there is such a thing as biological age in terms of your health and other factors. So you can be 40 years old, but sort of have a biological age of 32, say, if you're in very good shape and so on. Again, we could argue that.
Can I just make a point to that?
Sure.
When birth certificates were created and identifying as men and women, we haven't really understood humans. We're only understanding things now. You've got to think
what
back
do you?
in the
Okay,
day-
can I ask you a
being
question?
gay was considered a mental condition.
What do you mean by understanding humans? Like what does that mean?
We had a one way of thinking about things. So because you're XY chromosome, you have a vagina, you're a woman. But now we're starting to see that that's not the case. We need to adapt to it. We need to adapt. They can't just have so many people. What do we want them to do? No, are we just going to say all of them have mental conditions?
So baby's supposed to come out and be like, wham.
Okay, if I started going around and saying I am black, you wouldn't think something's wrong with me? You wouldn't think I'm delusional?
Yeah, but that's categorized.
What do you mean? Male and female as a category. We have bathrooms, male, female.
So
it's been like what if I use that same argument? What if I use that same argument? Okay, and I said, well, throughout all of history, we've known what black and white is, and now today we're going to change it, and now I am black.
Can I just ask something? If you was on a sinking ship and they said women and children first, trans.
This happened in Ukraine?
Really?
Yeah, because in Ukraine, the men were not allowed to leave.
Oh, yeah, that's
right? True. And there were men who identified as women
they had
who were trying to leave, and they were like, no, bro. You're staying and fighting.
They're like, ship, and they said women and children first. And somebody identifies, big butch identifying woman says, hey, I'm before you. How would you feel?
But I don't know the person.
Would you? So I have a question. I have a question.
So close-minded.
I'll be off that boat. I'll be there with my I identified as a woman. I'm strolling off with the kids.